distortions regarding body image, the way that we see or articulate, especially the feminine energy in terms of the body. Okay. Somebody actually said something to me earlier today that frustrated me in terms of the way that we teach women to think about existing in a body. And it was that if I dressed a certain way or looked a certain way, it would offend that other individual. And somehow that was disrespectful. There was something about my existence that was to them offensive. And it really got me thinking about growing up, being a young person, especially a young female, and the way that we are taught to identify with our bodies. And unfortunately, it seems like society puts this box around women that just their bodies alone are like not respectable. You know, like if a guy can walk around all day long with his shirt off, no big deal. But a woman that is showing anything of her body that might be magnetizing in some way is somehow disrespectful to herself or disrespectful to others. And I disagree. I feel that if you are confident, if you are not trying to attract negative attention, and if you feel glamorous or beautiful in a certain type of outfit, or it makes you radiate to feel glamorous and beautiful and, you know, being in your body, you know, being in your energy shouldn't offend others. And if it does offend others, you know, like let's say it's a spouse or something like that, then you're probably not with the right spouse, you know, like somebody that wants you to be less than what makes you feel wonderful because somehow that offends them. That's a distortion in them. That's an insecurity in them that they need to fix, because again, they're not feeling 100% confident within their own energy. So they want to essentially dim your light so that they can feel secure. And that's not the way it should be. It should just really, realistically, that person, those around you, whether it's friends, family, your significant other, they should love you however you show up. I mean, as long as you're showing up in a way that is like kind and courteous and whatnot. But I mean, just to judge somebody based on the body they were given or the fact that it's a hot day and they want to wear something fashionable is ridiculous. I've dealt with a lot of that my entire life and felt very judged just for being who and what I am. And I'm to a point now in my life where I don't care. If other people feel some sort of way about the way I am, then they're not meant to be around me. That just is what it is, you know? There's judgments out there. There's people that think that if you present yourself a certain way, that you embody maybe a certain type of energy, right? And I don't think this is accurate at all. I think that you can be really excited by glamour, you know, the beauty of the body, adornment, you know, feeling fabulous in your form and shape and enjoying that. And I think that because some other people have conformed and have done, you know, what the status quo requires of them, they can feel frustrated within the system because they're not being their fullest authentic self. Our childhood, when we were, you know, playing dress up or putting on a certain costume and you get to become that role, there's, in my mind, no reason why that energy of playing different roles and costumes and using your imagination has to stop when you become an adult. One of the reasons I started Eternal Beauty is because I wanted to have my own version of what society would be, or what, existing in a job or a role would be. The whole goal is to create fun, fabulous, beautiful, vibrant energy through creativity, through, again, the mechanism of the creative mind, but to do it in a way that's not stagnant and mundane and feels like it's choking you off. And I think, again, so when we kind of assimilate ourselves too much in society, so when we kind of take on this robotic role where we jettison everything that used to excite us into like this box of, I'm an adult, so therefore I can't do these things, or I'm an adult, so I can't have fun and be glamorous and fabulous and, take on these roles that I used to be able to, fantasize about in terms of like just your imagination, what it can transport you into, because you're now an adult. And this is kind of back to body image. Like, I remember being in kindergarten, I didn't care what size I was or like, how the clothes fit or whatever. I was just having fun. You just existed and played with energy, and, it wasn't so heavy. It wasn't so overwhelming. And so again, I've always tried to stay in this sort of childlike energy my entire life, because that's where I feel happy. That's where, if I can reside in this place of playfulness and exploration and kind of being a big kid, then it all makes sense to me. Then it's actually worth the journey. But if you make yourself into this sort of working robot that follows all these structured rules, and I mean, yes, okay, in some of my other videos, I'm going to talk about being righteous and working hard and all those things. Yes, you have to have responsibilities, okay? You can't just not show up to work. You can't not pay your bills. But you know what? Like, in everything you do, make it fabulous. Make it an event. When you're cleaning your house, it should be an event. When you're, at your office, it should be an event. It should have the ambiance. When you walk into the space where you're going to be working, create it so that there's romance and magnetism for yourself. When you get there, you're just in this cozy, beautiful, wonderful space. And part of that is, again, how you're feeling within your own body. I mean, I feel like for myself, I want to always, make every day fantastic. So, dress to the nines, be that person in every moment that I wish I would become. It's part of that becoming. It's part of that kind of law of assumption, right? You're going to walk into that dream role, but you actually feel better when you do this. You actually feel better in every moment. You're leveling yourself up to that destiny that you want to walk into. So again, it really doesn't leave a lot of room for misery or grumpiness or anything like that. If you're always being the most fun, crazy version of yourself, you're going to enjoy what you're doing, right? And this kind of comes back to body image. I don't care what size somebody is, okay? I don't care what background somebody is. Whatever you do to make yourself happy, and if you're authentically happy, okay, so if sweatpants are your thing and you love rocking the sweatpants and you feel 100% like in your vibe when you're rocking sweatpants and runners, then that's what you should be doing. And nobody should force you to put on a business suit. Nobody should force you to put on, a ball gown. For me, it's like sequins and ball gowns, and that's what I like. That's what I've always liked. And so again, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to conform to somebody else's in society's version of what I have to be. And if you think about it historically as well, fashion changes all the time. So really, whatever the societal norm or the collective conscious view of what is fashionable right now, I mean, wait 20 years, wait 50 years, wait 100 years, it's totally going to be different. I mean, women used to have to wear big poofy skirts and corsets, or there's different regions of the world where women have to be draped in all sorts of different things, and it's just what they wear there. So everybody's got their spin on judgment. And I think what you need to really do in terms of your own happiness is figure out what you like, figure out what makes you happy, and, be that. Do that. Don't let anybody ever tell you like it's like you're too old to be you. Like, I have some fabulous friends that are, at every age group, all the way up to their 90s, but hey, they're rocking some pink hair, or, they're getting tattoos, whatever it is. Like, there is never a point where you should not live your fullest in every single moment. Be whatever you want to be. Stop worrying about what people think. Like, who gives a shit what people think? Like, somebody's going to think bad of you? They're going to waste their mental energy thinking bad about you? Well, that's their thing. Like, who cares? I don't know. Personally, I don't think bad about anybody. It's like, wherever anybody else is at, where they're at is where they need to be until they learn to be somewhere beyond that. And it's not my place to judge them. It's not my place to project anything onto them. They're doing them. And, some people are really in a low vibration and they're doing some crazy things that might not be to their best interests, or, it's not going to propel them into the right path, but that's where they are. And I'm certainly not like God. I can't sit down there and look and see their life plan and say like, I'm better than them because I'm here and they're there. There was times in my life where I was bankrupt, where I had nothing, where everything fell apart, right? And so would somebody look back on me at that point and say, I was worthless or I was in a rut? No, they might have, but then just, bounce to another timeline where I'm sitting now and things are wonderful. So you can never judge where somebody is or where they're going to be or where they're going to end up, because you don't know. The guy that is pulling up to put your trash, in the city garbage truck in 5 years could be a multi-billionaire. You don't know. You really don't know. So, and not that being a billionaire or being, somebody that's in sanitation is better or worse. I've met some really terrible rich people that are just soul sucking and not great people at all. So having money doesn't negate or doesn't mean that that person is infinitely more valuable. I mean, it depends what they're doing with their money. It depends what they're doing with their time. Are they contributing to the world? Are they making the world a better place? Is the ripple effect of who and what they are transmuting into beauty for others? I mean, that's a benchmark of somebody that's doing a good job. And it could be that person that, is picking up the trash and says hello to every little old lady that's lonely in their house and gives them a smile. And just that reverberation of their kick-ass, wicked, positive energy is much more powerful than somebody that's holding a bunch of wealth and taking advantage of other people, right? Like, again, the calibration of your effect on the world, it's not really determined by how much wealth you hold. But I mean, if you are lucky enough to be in a position to have affluence, then something inside of you should be, grateful, and then wanting with that same amount of gratitude to pay it forward and do good things for others. I mean, that's the purpose. I always think, you imagine all these very wealthy children that have come from wealth, and you think like God hopes that they do something. Like, hopefully they do something, or they know their purpose is to now extend and help the world, because they didn't have to dig all the ditches that maybe their forefathers did, but now they have this beautiful life and they can take some of those resources and change the world. That's the hope, right? Hopefully that's the way that it works. I know I got on a little bit of a tangent there, but I want to circle back to the whole body image thing.